back to day 2 for my brand new live series, how the different developmental windows during early childhood are impacting your money making potential right now as an adult, as a grown-ass woman in business. So yesterday, obviously, I started with the very early years, ages 0 to 2. Today, I'm going to talk to you about ages 3 to 6. So this is really like the pivotal time, because I think when you're at that age, you're learning how to make your own decisions, you're learning your own self-identity, you're also so much more aware of what is going on around you, because typically you're at school, you're a little bit older, you're more independent, and you are starting to connect the dots very quickly on the things that you're seeing going on around you, subtly, the unspoken dynamics between parents, caregivers, picking up on societal expectations, and all of that subtle undertone which essentially shapes our belief system. But here's the thing, at age 6, you don't have any emotional maturity or context or logic or emotional self-mastery at that age. You are still very much learning about how to fit into society and how to show up in this world, because your critical faculty function is yet to be developed. So therefore you are applying very literal meanings to anything that you are witnessing going on around you, and that's where a lot of other money mentors kind of stop their teachings, in that they will say, before the ages of 7, anything you witnessed around money, you would have, like I said, connected the dots very literally, that if your parents were arguing about money, or you heard statements such as money doesn't grow on trees, those sorts of things, then that's why you have an issue with making money now. And that is true, but it's also so much bigger than that as well. This is a time where you are learning independence, and it really does depend on your family dynamics. As I said before, even the order in which you were born and the expectations that were placed on you as a child at that time will have an impact on how you are showing up now. So if you were, from one end of the spectrum in the negative, if you had emotionally avoidant parents that were very overwhelmed, whether that has anything to do with money or not, you would have learned that your needs were unmet. And therefore, this is where either codependency can come in with children, where they've got parents that are almost like too keen, too involved, take away their their children's confidence and independence, because they want to do everything for them. They're constantly together. They never allow them to kind of test the boundaries of life and what they are capable of. They're always kind of just trying to keep them in a little box. So if you could have had that, or you could have also had, as I said, emotionally avoidant parents that were just busy, overwhelmed, trying to get through the day, that again mirrored to them that their needs weren't important. They may have also gone to the other end where they were like obsessed with them. Hello, I'm probably at that end of the spectrum. So therefore I have to really ensure that I'm not disempowering my kids at the same time, that I'm allowing them to find their way and to lean into their creative interests, to find ways to express themselves, to form their own self-identity without following my model of the world, without thinking that my way is right all the time. I actually welcome challenges from the kids within reason. I'm still like the matriarch, but you can see a lot of the times, it's so interesting to me now, because obviously I have 6 children, I'm on the school run continually, it's like a part-time job at this point, and just watching the dynamics between parents and children, you can very much see the path that is laid out for these kids based on their interactions with their parents. So I've got parents or friends that are like, oh, my kids are so anxious, and they're not going to be able to do this, they won't be able to cope with that, I've already told the school, I've said no, they're not going to do this thing, before the child's even had a chance. And don't get me wrong, I think as a parent, you know your child best, and there's situations that I haven't even opted into for my oldest daughter. Obviously I homeschool 2 of them, but equally at such a young age, it's about having that healthy relationship with failure and knowing your own limits and not following in the footsteps that were modeled for you by your parents. And also, if you are overly anxious as a parent, you are imprinting that on your child. So, and equally how women speak about themselves in front of their kids. How can you tell your children every day they are beautiful, they are amazing, they can do anything they want to do in this lifetime, it's all about being happy, and then you are not going first. You are then standing in a mirror and saying, oh, I've put on so much weight, oh my god, I look so old, oh, I'd love to do that, but I'm never going to have the money, I'm never going to have the time. Like, if you are running around as a martyr thinking that that is a badge of honor, actually that's the behavior that you're modeling to your kids when they're older. And if you, as their North Star, their Beyonce, their center of all things, and essentially like their Jesus, the most central person to their universe, who is seemingly capable of all things, is not able to do these things for themselves, then they won't even try, because they've already seen that you've modeled to them that it's not possible. So that's just kind of like a word of caution. So as I said, how this can then, if you experience trauma, as I mentioned yesterday, trauma is relative. Not everybody's had a turbulent childhood like me. Some people have. It could just be that you put your hands up, put yourself out there, and somebody laughed. Kids were unkind at school. That's why it's such a hard environment for young people to go in at that age, when they are so susceptible and so receptive to everything that's going on around them in the world. To put them in an environment where it's just so toxic, it's so dog eat dog, it's really hard as a parent for me to do that. So they might have experienced shame, embarrassment, worry around mistakes. That means that now when you're in your business, you are struggling to be innovative, creative, original thinking, because you're looking at everybody else to tell you what good looks like. So therefore you're not really bringing anything new to the table, anything new to the market. It's very uninspiring. Your socials tend to kind of blend into the background, and you become very vanilla and forgettable. I see that a lot, and I remember coming into the online space from the brick and mortar space, like the physical world, 3D world of business, coming into the online space and just thinking, wow, it is basically like 5 people that are dominating this space, and their message is just regurgitated again and again and again. And it's just the same people that pretty much look the same, that sound the same, use the same language, offer the same results, and are using the same strategies. And I was like, wow, that's really uninspiring. Now, obviously, at some point, these people felt that they couldn't think creatively. Like I say, they couldn't think originally. They were looking, success leaves clues, right? That statement alone has probably cut enough people in their strides to actually creating something really exciting. You might also lack confidence in expressing your own needs, which means that how that again shows up in your money stories, that you struggle to set boundaries with your clients. People are essentially taking the mick. Your business is unsustainable because you're continually feeling burnout, because you're doing too much. Maybe you struggle to be supported by building a team, and even if you've got a team, you're disempowering them because you're not allowing them to do anything, or have any autonomy. Maybe you didn't have autonomy, so you're always looking to that authority in your life to tell you. Maybe it's parents, maybe it's partners. Seen that a lot with women when they're thinking about investing in programs that still use I need to speak to my partner, I need to speak to I haven't really had a parent, but I've definitely had partners. Can you speak to my partner and tell him what you told me? And here's the thing, I believe in healthy boundaries within a relationship, to be respectful of your partner, and if you've got common goals that you're working towards, absolutely. But is he a business partner in your business? Because if he isn't, and he hasn't got a vested interest in what you are doing, then I would argue that he doesn't really need to have a say in what you believe to be right, as your next step of growth, as your next level of visibility, of your next level of support. And even if it's just, I just need somebody to bounce some ideas off right now, that's okay. Not everything needs an ROI. You deserve to be supported and have somebody to hold space for you and for your needs to be important. You might also, as I said earlier, end up having codependent relationships where you are overly taking on too much responsibility of your client's results, and equally where they feel like they can't move without getting your say-so. You might end up people pleasing, which again typically means that you're undercharging, over-delivering, offering everything but the kitchen sink, not really focusing on the transformation, just wanting to say yes to every single sale, not worried about alignment of clients, which will always bite you on the ass, ladies. Like, let me know if any of this is resonating with you right now. I'm not sure who's watching me live, or if you're watching me back, let me know. But genuinely, if you sit with this work, this is why I do this work in the First Generation Academy, because typically we are the generation that are going first. We don't necessarily have everybody around us in full alignment with our goals. Maybe that, I've definitely got siblings that are very much still, I say, in the matrix, because they're working absolutely crazy hours. There's no time freedom. And albeit they're happy, they're living their lives, and I'm pretty sure that they like those jobs and all the things. I thought I was happy when I was in the matrix. I didn't even know that this version of me could evolve on the other side of being a business owner. But if you are that person that's gone first, then all of these things that I'm talking about are going to be coming up and impacting you in unconscious ways. That's why inside the academy, I start there. So the first few modules within the academy is all about remembering. Then it's about releasing all of that trauma, and then it's about reprogramming your mindset for success. So it's like getting your handbag and essentially emptying it out with all the crap that you don't need going forwards. So, and then allow like this beautiful clean like space, and then you can fill it up with all the aesthetically pleasing little trinkets and things that you need from Amazon. Let me know if you are a TikTok girl. And then you replace it with things that serve you more, that bring you joy, that actually facilitate your growth, rather than keeping you small and keeping you stuck and in this constant struggle, because part of you knows you're meant for more, part of you is scared of actually achieving more. Like, let me know if any of this resonates with you. And obviously, if you are interested in doing this work, to remember all of those things that have kept you stuck, so that you can release it and reprogram your mindset with something more empowering, so that you can make more money, as well as hold more money, as well as have the confidence to multiply that money, because we only get one life, right? And rightly or wrongly, a lot of the things that we want to do be an experience in this lifetime requires money to do it, and everyone wins when you do. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little episode today. Let me know what your takeaways are and if anything resonates for you.